Hello everyone and welcome back in our second video of making the loudest engines from automation game all the way to BeamNG.drive. So in this video we will be seeing all of the V engines, all of them in this beautiful made yellow racing yellow Eagle station wagon with all of the same previous specs, for the interior and the body and the chassis and everything else. The only two differences or three differences actually are the engine, the gearbox, and the suspension. The brakes are pretty much the same, but I'm just changing the pads. Except for the V16 version, I had to put more brake pistons so I can make the car actually to stop. So we will be seeing the V6 and the V8 and cross plane and the V8 flat plane, and then we will be seeing the V12, the V10, the V12, and the V16 at the end. So before we crack on with the video, I would love to remind you, please, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video, and please add my Discord page, or whatever they call it, server or something. Just if you have this Discord, you already know what it is. So my username on Discord and on Snapchat and also on Instagram is the same username, which is Lord Bas94, Lord BAS 94. Add me there, because on Discord you will be seeing like special things, or what currently I'm doing with games, what games am I playing, like some screenshots that I always take from games. You'll be seeing all of these live, because, well, my computer, I don't actually turn off my computer so often, so you'll be seeing all of this on Discord. And of course you can check out my Patreon page, the link in the description below. If you want to download these cars and the cars from the previous video, you'll be seeing them on Patreon page. So we'll be starting with this Eagle. As you can see, we have black rims instead of gold, this racing yellow beautiful looking color for the paint for the body, and of course red brake calipers. We will be starting with the 90 degrees V6 engine. I didn't actually make any 60 degrees except the V12, because the difference between 60 degrees and 90 degrees is only the weight and how compact the engine is. That's it, no performance gains or anything else, so I'm gonna be sticking with 90 degrees. So we have a 90 degrees. Like, I tried to go as high as possible on the compression ratio, 12 on the air ratio, and as high as possible on the compression and the ignition timing. Yeah, with the racing intake, with the racing exhaust manifold and racing intake manifold, but the exhaust is made with -15 quality, so I can make it as loud as possible with straight pipe exhaust system. Alright, let's start with this V6 Beast 2, 450 horsepower from a 3 liter or 3.5 liter, something like this. Yeah. Yeah, that remind me, please lower your volume a little bit so you don't break your phone or your laptop or your TV or wherever you are watching this video on. Lower the video just in case. Alright, so we have seen the V6 90 degrees V6 engine making around 450 horsepower, but I do apologize because I forgot the displacement. Maybe it's a 3 liter, maybe it's a 3.5, something like this, but no more than that. Individual throttle bodies running on 100 octane fuel, race intake manifold, race exhaust manifold, aluminum silicon cylinder block, engine block and cylinder heads. 5 valves per cylinder, pretty much very good. Manual gearbox, all-wheel drive, you know, the perfect recipe. And in the V6 version, only in this version, the car weight distribution is actually 50-50 weight distribution. I'm not kidding. 50% on the rear wheels, 50% on the front wheels, only with the V6 engine, with this size, with this configuration. I promise you this. I have the files on my Patreon page. You can download those cars if you want and drive them on your BeamNG game, and you can find out the true 50-50 weight distribution only on the V6 version. Alright, so we have seen the V6. Now let's go to the V8 version. Personally, my favorite one because of the sound and a little bit from the performance. So the Eagle V8 crossplane. Ready? Alright, so what we have here is a 4.8 liter V8 engine making around 600, maybe 650 horsepower, something like this. All-wheel drive and yes, manual gearbox. The same configuration, highest compression ratio, the highest air-fuel ratio, not the air-fuel ratio, 12.0 is the air-fuel ratio, and the highest ignition timing. Race exhaust manifold, race intake manifold, individual throttle bodies, aluminum silicon block and cylinder heads, 5 valves per cylinder. Pretty much the same idea, but different wheels, different tires, and you know, the width of the tires, but the compound is still the same, medium compound on all the cars. Different suspension tune, different brakes, and different, of course, gearbox tune. Alright. My favorite note of the V8 is not idle or revving, is this. Put it in first, hold the brakes, and yeah, that's what I like about this car. Yep. Alright, so now we can begin. Alright, so we have seen the V8 engine, the cross-plane V8 engine, 4.8 liter engine working like a charm. The noise of the exhaust, the drivability, the speed, the acceleration, everything is working pretty much perfect. Now let's switch to the the flat plane V8 engine. The flat plane is a little bit different. The displacement is a little bit smaller, and the gearbox is different because, let me shut it off, because I forgot to make the flat plane, and after I finished the V16 engine with a different gearbox, because I've chosen dual clutch gearbox on the V10 on the V12 and the V16, and then I remembered that I need to make a flat plane also, so we can compare the note of the exhaust. So with this configuration right now, the engine is producing 600 horsepower, a little bit slower than the cross plane, the displacement, and we have a dual clutch gearbox, 7-speed as I quite remember, different suspension tune, different brakes, a different, basically everything mechanically except the chassis and the body and the interior and other features like safety. Alright, flat plane V8 engine. Oh damn it, I overcooked it. Sorry about that. I overcooked it and scratched the car. So yes, the car is working just fine. The suspension tune is pretty much perfect, but it's a little bit going to the oversteering side, which is very fun to throw an all-wheel drive car around the corners with a big power slide. It's really fun, but you need some time to practice so you don't crash it like I did a moment ago. All right, so let's switch right now to the V10 Eagle, the Eagle V10. So the Eagle V10, I don't know, yes, I think it was a 5 liter. Yeah, I think it's a 5 liter V8 and V10 engine making around 700 horsepower, 730, 50, something like this. I totally forgot because the video was recorded a little while back. But yeah, it's around 750 horsepower, let's say that, and all-wheel drive. But this one is, as you can see, first, second, so it's a manual gearbox, not dual clutch. All-wheel drive still the same, of course, different brakes, different tire width and everything else, different suspension tune and from everything else. And V10 power. Right. So the V10 is extremely loud and it sounds very brutal at high RPM, really great. The acceleration, the handling, the speed, the feeling of, I mean, when you put your foot hard down, you will feel the surge of power. That's what I truly love about naturally aspirated engine. You have all of this power, nearly 750 horsepower, and naturally aspirated, anytime you put your foot hard down, you have the torque, you have the power, you don't have to wait for anything to spool up or to build boost or anything else. That is really awesome. Apply fuel, put your foot hard down, and you have all of the power. Absolutely magnificent. Alright, so now let's switch to the V12 Eagle. The V12 Eagle is making around 850 horsepower. It's a huge engine. I think it's a 6 liter maybe. Yes, I think a 6 liter V12 engine. Yes, dual clutch, all-wheel drive, around 850 horsepower, something like this. Of course, different everything like brakes, tires, same compound but different width and different offset for the rims, different gearbox ratios of different spacing, and of course different suspension tune with more power. But a lot smoother, very smooth. Listen, very refined. what an amazing machine. The acceleration, I mean, you put your foot on any turn, it will oversteer, wants to go around and do a fun lap, not a serious lap. Of course, we are only using medium compound tires, not, you know, soft compound tires or, you know, sporty compound tires. And of course, we don't have like any kind of you know, front lip or a real spoiler. So the only aerodynamics that we have for this car is a semi-clad under tray. As you can see, this under tray here, and on the back it will provide a little bit of, you know, aerodynamics underneath the car, but not much. I mean, not much there to keep it, you know, stable. But of course, the all-wheel drive system will give us that mechanical, you know, grip and that mechanical stability. Unlike if you are using like a rear-wheel drive monster like this one, not like this one. If you're using the same engine as this one on a rear-wheel drive you know, machine, it will be really hard to keep it in a straight line without any kind of, you know, downforce to keeping it on the ground, because without aerodynamics on a rear-wheel drive car, you will spin out and crash easy. But with all-wheel drive, even if you don't have any kind of aerodynamics, you will have the mechanical grip to keep you in safe hands. Alright, let's switch to the final and the most powerful beast for tonight, which is the Eagle V16. Same car, same body, same chassis, but a V16 under the hood or under the bonnet. So what we have here is a 7-liter V16 engine making 1,000 horsepower, naturally aspirated engine. Let's see, we have individual throttle bodies, we have a race intake manifold, race exhaust system, -15 quality to keep it super loud, and 1,000 horsepower, the dual clutch gearbox, all-wheel drive, you know, super powerful brakes, perfect tires, perfect suspension tune, and a lot of oversteer, as you will see in a minute. But although the gearbox tune made the wheel spin to be actually minimum, there is not much, you know, wheel spin. I think 3.5%, but yeah, it spins the wheels like crazy, as you will see right now. So enjoy. Wow, what a machine, power sliding on nearly every single corner. That is absolutely an absolute madness. Really, really great. Really fun to drive. A little bit. Actually, it's not scary to drive. Some 1,000 horsepower cars that I've made before were really scary, and I really do mean really scary. I mean, you get to a corner and you pray to God that you don't want to crash and destroy the car. But in this one, you can drift it while you are relaxed. You're really relaxed. I mean, you don't do anything. If you want even to drift it while you are super relaxed, you can even put it in auto, in drive, and just keep the gearbox to shift on its own. Enjoy yourself, just slide it around, use the throttle to keep it balanced, use the steering also to keep it extra balanced, and if you want to slide a little bit harder, use the handbrake a little bit. Perfect. This is not a drift machine, but it's really, really fun to drive, and I do really mean super fun to drive. I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please remember, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video, and if you want to get these cars, the V16, the V8, the V12, all of them, all of these cars that you saw tonight or today, whatever time you're watching this video, if you want to get them in your BeamNG game and drive them, go to my Patreon page. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. But just press the link, you will find the post over there. Just download or press the link, the Google Drive link on my Patreon page, and download those files and put them in your BeamNG mods folder in your documents, and enjoy driving these monsters. I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. As I said, don't forget to hit that like button. If you are new, watch all my previous video, and of course hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button so you can get a notification each time I release a new video. Alright, so the only thing that we have left, which will be I think tomorrow or maybe later, I'm gonna record that video, which is making the loudest boxer engine. Of course, the same Eagle car, you will be seeing this Eagle but with a different paint. Making the loudest Boxer 4 and the Boxer 6 engine, naturally aspirated of course. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed everything. Don't forget to, of course, to add me on my Discord and Instagram and Snapchat if you want. The same username for all three, LordBass94. And now I can say to you, my friends, goodbye, because I have to go and see my newborn nephew. And good night and goodbye for now, my friends.